All right, so going to talk about Tacoma, and basically the city is finally coming alive in 2019. And what I mean by that is, first, let's talk about the town center. As you recall, I've done several videos on the town center, and there was a lot of speculation that wasn't going to happen. Keep in mind, it took a very long time to actually get the ball rolling, and there was a lot of delays. So some people felt like, well, this project is just not going to happen. It is a Chinese investor. They got a lot of investors from China to actually invest in this project in Tacoma, and they felt like this was not going to really happen. Now, the town center is great because, and I said it's going to help make Tacoma come alive because there's two bookends. I'm going to talk about these two bookends, and these two bookends is what's going to make the city come alive. You have the town center, which is considered South Downtown, and that area is pretty hot right now. You have for one, you have the University of Washington Tacoma right there. You have across Pack Avenue, the museum campus. So those things are great. They're great during the day, but at nighttime, they really don't serve much of a function. And even on the weekends, the university doesn't really do much. I mean, there's classes and stuff, but it's really not that big of an event. But when we talk about the town center, it's basically creating a mall, right? Now, it's not the traditional mall that you would expect. It's kind of like a lifestyle center where you basically most lifestyle centers, you pull up to the space, you park, and you get out and you go into the store. So it's offering that convenience, but you don't have to walk through a big, huge covered mall like you traditionally would. So it's more of an open air type of mall. This concept is different because you're not going to necessarily drive up to it. You're going to actually be able to walk and bike to it. They're taking advantage of the fact that you have light rail there. They're taking advantage of the fact that you have the University of Washington Tacoma right there. People can literally just cross the street and there it is. So it's going to add a lot of restaurants and bars to the area, which is severely needed. Now, again, I did a video talking about brewery blocks, and I showed you video of where it is. That's already getting some attention. Next year, you're going to see a barbecue place that comes from Seattle actually locate there. And so you're going to, and it's pretty popular, right? A lot of people here travel up to Seattle just to go to this restaurant. So that's already going to go in. All of this is within, I mean, literally you can crawl to each place. You have Seven Seas, which is a major brewery downtown. It's an awesome place. It's right there. And then you have the town center, which is literally across the street from it. I mean, you can throw a rock and hit it. And then if you go at the farthest end of the town center, the University of Washington Tacoma is right there. You can throw a rock and hit that. And then literally the brewery blocks is going to be just across another street and right directly next to the University of Washington Tacoma. And there's also a hotel there. I think it's Holiday Inn, I believe, is right there. So if the Holiday Inn wasn't there, you could literally throw a rock pretty far and cross a couple of streets and be able to hit brewery blocks. All of this is within that one area. But the mall really does make this come alive. Now, brewery blocks is going to add a lot of residential to the area. But the Tacoma Town Center is going to add a tremendous amount of residential space there. Now, they're changing some of the concepts from apartments to condos because obviously condos are going to make you more money up front. And I think when you have investors, that's what they want. They want to know, they want to see the money up front. People get scared. So given the political climate, a lot of folks are worried about that. And it makes sense. So they're changing that to condos, but still you're going to have a lot of people who are downtown. And when we're talking about condo folks, typically these are people who obviously, when you have a condo, you are invested in your community more, or a house, you're more invested in your community more so than a renter. So you're not going to have a whole lot of folks cycling in and out. Now, one of the issues is that the project was built to have a huge block of student housing. I don't know if that's going to go away or not. But I will put a link down below that has the Tacoma Town Center's YouTube website, their channel. You can go and see the fly-through of what it's going to look like. It's going to be pretty awesome. But the first part of that opens at the end of 2019. It could be 2020 when it opens, but they're saying at the end of 2019. It was supposed to open at the early part of 2019, but construction delays and everything else pushed it back. So this is going to create a vibrant area where you're going to have a lot more people, not just necessarily on Pack Avenue. In downtown Tacoma, a lot of people stroll Pack Avenue because that's where you see a lot of shops and stuff, museums and different things like that. You don't really see a lot of people go into downtown unless they're going to Pantages or Pantages. I don't know how to say that. Unless they're going through the theater district, you don't see a lot of people veer off too much. But that's going to change because the other bookend is going to be McMenavins. McMenavins is a company where it's a family-owned business, and they started off in Oregon, Portland, Oregon, I believe. And they have a lot of places in Portland. They have a lot of places now in Washington. And Tacoma is going to get a McMenavins at the Elks Lodge, the old Elks Lodge. Now, what makes this spot really unique is it's on the far end of downtown. So it's opposite, literally, of the Tacoma Town Center. And this place, just looking at the pictures that they have, if you looked at what the building looked like before, it was a dump. It was just trashy. I mean, the outside, you could tell it was a beautiful building, don't get me wrong, but it had sat and was going through so much decay that it was just horrible. And then when they showed the inside, so much graffiti was in there. I mean, every wall was covered. It looked like something from a ruin. I mean, it was basically a ruin. If you see some of the stuff in Detroit of some of the old abandoned buildings, this is exactly what it looked like. The ceiling had big, huge rust and holes, holes in the ceiling, and rain would come down. So the building looked horrible. The building now is simply amazing. I mean, I'm not just saying that. I'm going to put a link down below of McMenavins and their website. But I think this, out of all their properties I've kind of looked at, now I've never been to any of their properties, but out of the ones that I've seen YouTube videos on or seen pictures of or what have you, I think this one's going to be the best one. I'm not just saying that because I'm in Tacoma or that, whatever. It, by far, I think, is the biggest project that they've had to do because it took a lot to restore it. I think it was the most expensive one, but it is going to be pretty fantastic. I mean, the lights alone in the building is just insane. So inside of this, they're going to have, obviously, a boutique-style hotel. McMenavins is just an awesome... I mean, they're good business folks. I mean, they literally find small buildings, even like the size of a shed, and turn it into like a small bar. I mean, they do some of the most off-the-wall, cool concepts. But this one's going to have, like a lot of them, it's going to have a hotel component to it. It's going to have restaurants. At the very top of this building is an area where you can look out and see Commencement Bay. And they're going to obviously have a rooftop bar or restaurant up there, which is going to be sick. Because you're going to be able to look out and see Commencement Bay. I mean, get a good view. You're going to be able to see, the tide flats and the port, and you're going to be able to see different parts of downtown. It's going to be pretty crazy in terms of what you're able to see. It's going to have at least 3 different restaurants in it. And so it's just going to be a really, really, really cool concept. Now, this is something that will keep, and obviously when you've seen some of the YouTube videos of McMenavins in different places, people pack it. I mean, people travel. They have what's called a passport, and people travel from different McMenavins locations to get a stamp in their little passport that McMenavins gives you. You have to pay for it, obviously. But people travel all around just to go to these different spots. So not only is it like a tourist draw, It's very eclectic, very different. So it will pretty much liven up that side of downtown. Now, that side of downtown does have a lot going for it anyway. It has the theater district not far. It also has a lot of bars and things like that in existence already. But these two bookends are really and truly going to change the fabric of downtown. You're no longer going to have a place where pretty much around a certain time of night, everybody goes to bed. I think you're going to see a lot more vibrancy because these two places are pretty much going to keep people out much longer. Now, with that said, there are other things in the pipeline that if they get approved or when they're completed are going to be major game changers too. This is just kind of the first reiteration of it. I mean, there are two major projects. Don't forget the fact that the Tacoma Dome has did a huge renovation, right? A huge renovation that has really took it up several notches. That by itself has drawn a lot of attention and it's creating a lot of buzz. So that's something to look out for. But for right now, 2019, McMenamins opens early 2019. They're thinking probably around April. So that's going to be great. I'm going to definitely be there. I'm going to definitely take pictures. I'll probably do some live streaming. But after that, I'm just going to get involved. They're also going to have an on-site brewery there and also a gift shop. I asked them if they're going to have a gift shop, and they said that they would. And so that's going to open early 2019, around April. Then the town center is going to open up at the end of 2019. If we were to get Topgolf downtown, it's a wrap. Downtown will definitely be the place to be. It's really changing. With that said, also the light rail, the Tacoma link. This has nothing to do with these two particular things, but before I forget, and since I haven't done a lot of videos recently, I wanted to kind of talk about that. The Tacoma link just Monday broke ground on its expansion. Now, it has worked on its maintenance facility to expand it because basically they're going to have double the amount of streetcars that they currently have. So now on Monday, they broke ground downtown to extend the more than double the size of the existing light rail system. This is really big because when this is completed, it obviously will take people all the way into Hilltop along many different neighborhoods and connecting them. So now not only downtown, but Stadium and also Hilltop, they're all going to be connected, as well as the many hospital campuses that are there. So you couple that with the fact that all of the housing is in one particular area. You have the job centers of the medical places in another particular area and condos. It adds a pretty vibrant recipe. The problem I see is obviously Hilltop is gentrified and it will become more so. That's a severe negative. But these are communities that have been for so long neglected, just like Tacoma. So we're starting to see a lot of change here. And some people obviously don't like it. Other people love it. There are a lot of people from out of town who have a theory of Tacoma, and they visited Tacoma recently, and they're like, wow, it's a completely different place. Like, they've added so much stuff. So anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys are having a great week. It's going to be Thanksgiving relatively soon. And until next time, I will see you. Take care.